2018 was a fantastic year for games, and that's pretty much all the introduction that's needed. Just like 2017, we were smacked with hit after hit after hit, and 2018 didn't pull any punches. So we're here to count down the best punches of that year. Now, before I begin, I want to give a big disclaimer. A ton of hit games came out in 2018, but I didn't play all the hit games in 2018, and some of the games I played in 2018 didn't even come out in 2018. So on this list, not only will there be some missing games from last year, but there will be some games that didn't even come out last year. Check the title of the video you're watching again. Top 10 games I played in 2018, not top 10 2018 games. So basically, any game is allowed as long as the first time I played it was in 2018. Ports don't count those. Sorry, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Hope that rule is easy enough to follow though. With that said, let's begin my top 10 games I played in 2018. Number 10 is Bully. It's a good thing I hammered in that rule earlier, isn't it? You'd be confused otherwise, as this game is over 10 years old. Now, I haven't gotten too far into this game. It probably would be much higher on the list if I did, but I made the unfortunate mistake of playing it as filler while waiting in the final week for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Within that week, though, I definitely enjoyed my visit to Bullworth Academy, pulling pranks on nerds, beating up jocks. Class minigames are decently fun, and I just like the overall atmosphere of the game. It's growing very quickly as one of my favorite Rockstar properties, and I hear Bully 2 is on the way, so I'm excited for that. So once Smash finally lets go of me with its addictive grip, I'll be sure to head back to Bully while waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a whole month left, so there's plenty of time for Bully to be filler now. But the overall fact that it made it to my top 10 over such little playtime says only good things. Bully is number 10. Number 9, Shadow of the Colossus Remastered. I know what you're about to say in the comments, but no, this is not a port. This was a remake completely from the ground up, similar to Spyro and Crash. So if it's allowed, then why is it all the way back at number 9? I mean, it is Shadow of the Colossus after all. Well, while I greatly enjoyed the original game on the PlayStation 2, as well as revisiting this world for the remaster, unlike Crash and Spyro, it didn't really do anything to enhance or change the experience. Aside from a brand new photo mode, this game didn't really add anything except for a graphical glow-up to a game that really didn't need one. The visuals of the original still hold up to this very day, and there's even an HD port on the PS3 if they're not enough for you. But while they may not have added much, they didn't break anything either. It's still the same old Shadow of the Colossus we know and love. It's just a remaster that really didn't need to happen, but I'm very glad it did. Shadow of the Colossus Remastered is number 9. Number 8 is Super Mario Party. Now when it comes to Mario Party, I don't have a lot of friends, but I do have a few siblings. 3 in fact, enough to fill out the 4-player quantity in Mario Party. From playing Mario Party 8 on the Wii to Mario Party DS on long trips, we had a lot of fun. But then that dang car happened. But we don't have to talk about that because after a couple years, Mario Party returned to its original form in Super Mario Party. We finally got some fun minigames again, we have a nice roster of characters, and we got regular boards back. Even though there's only 4 of them, still regular boards are back. Plus there are a few new interesting side modes. Now the solo experience is pretty lackluster as well as the online. Plus there's only 4 game boards like I just mentioned. It's not the best Mario Party, but it's a small step. A small step in the right direction. Super Mario Party is number 8. Number 7 is Dragon Ball FighterZ. We've had plenty of licensed fighting games come out recently, like My Hero 1's Justice last year, and we've got Jump Force coming later this year. but I want to look at Dragon Ball FighterZ. Never has there been a Dragon Ball game that has captured the feeling and spirit of the anime as well as this one. From the visuals, to the sound design, to the fast-paced gameplay, to the music, everything just fits so well to tell you that this is Dragon Ball. Now, I'm more into 3D fighters than 2D fighters, so I didn't stick around with this one for too long, especially since I also figured Toei and Shueisha would get protective of their IPs as usual, and mess up with the game's scene so there would be no point in learning it, and it seems I was right. But I did thoroughly enjoy the time that I did have with the game, and it seems Tekken director Katsuhiro Harada is going to keep Dragon Ball FighterZ alive as he's now the new head of Bandai Namco's esports strategy team. So perhaps this game isn't a one and done thing after all. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Dragon Ball FighterZ is number 7. Number 6, A Hat in Time. Now, I'm typically very cautious when playing indie games as they're not my usual cup of tea. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an impressive feat that such small teams are able to create games like these. But that doesn't say much about the games themselves. I moderately enjoyed my time with one of the Shantae games, Shovel Knight didn't appeal to me, and I heard about the mess with Mighty No. 9 and Yooka-Laylee, so as you can imagine, I was pretty skeptical when it comes to A Hat in Time. But not only did I enjoy it, but it greatly surpassed my expectations. With incredible smooth controls, a great camera which 3D platformers typically struggle with, and addictive collectibles, A Hat in Time expertly captures the spirit of its genre. Not to mention it's heckin' cute and has incredible music, and it's coming to the Switch soon, so Switch owners keep your eyes open. You definitely don't want to miss this game. A Hat in Time is number 6. Number 5 is Soul Calibur 6, and you probably saw this coming in the Dragon Ball FighterZ section when I said I prefer 3D fighters over 2D, and this is no exception. Soul Calibur is pretty different from others in its genre. Unlike Tekken, Virtua Fighter, or Dead or Alive, it's mainly weapon-based combat. You have staffs, you have spears, you have swords, you have nunchucks. You can even have a giant mallet. There's tons of character episodes, a big story, and then a story for your own original character. The only drawback is that the amount of characters and maps aren't as hefty as the amount of stuff to do, so you'll be seeing a lot of the same thing. But even after you've done everything, there's still lasting gameplay value in the character creation, which has tons of variety. But of course, to increase the amount of content, they're adding in some DLC. They're adding it in very slowly, but adding it in nonetheless. Soul Calibur 6 is number 5. Number 4 is Dead by Daylight. Now this was an unexpected surprise. I honestly did not expect to like this game as much as I did. In fact, I wasn't even aware of its existence until it was free on the PlayStation Store. Back in the summer of 2018, E3 had just happened, so I was excited for a lot of upcoming games. But nothing was coming out over the summer. It was just a big drought and I was desperate to play something new. But in August, for PlayStation Plus members, Dead by Daylight was free on the PlayStation Store. It's a multiplayer survival game. There's up to 5 players per match, 1 killer and 4 survivors. The survivors have to repair generators around the map to open up a gate and escape before the killer catches them all. It's basically that one Friday the 13th game if everything was done right. Even though it came out all the way back in 2016, they're still doing content updates to this very day, and I'm excited to see where they continue. Dead by Daylight is an easy number 4. Number 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Sorry, it doesn't get a free pass to number 1 just cause it's Smash. There are plenty of criticisms I have for the game despite how wonderful it is. Don't take this the wrong way though, I mean it still did make it to number 3. I just have to give reasons at why it's not number 1. Otherwise you'd be confused. Now I plan to do a full review of this game later on so I won't go into too much detail, but basically, everyone is here, but not everything. So many replayable core single-player modes were cut in favor of a giant Smash Tour. I know some people like to say World of Light is more like Event Mode than Smash Tour, but Event Mode had different objectives like prevent all the Game & Watches from landing on the platforms or get this many points with Pac-Man's Final Smash. Meanwhile, in World of Light, it's just regular Smash battles with different effects like stat boosts or starting with a particular weapon, exactly how Smash Tour worked. Combine all that with a still terrible online that we're now paying for, and you'll see why it's not number 1. But even though it's not the ultimate Smash Bros. Experience it was advertised to be, it still is good enough to make it this high up on the list. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 3. Number 2, Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy. Following the path of Crash Bandicoot in 2017, Spyro decided to throw his hat into the ring with a remaster. And it definitely didn't disappoint. Spyro is a much bigger game in size compared to Crash, so I figured when remastering it in HD the same way, they'd have to cut back in some areas, but they really didn't. They kept everything up and better than I could have ever expected it to be. All the dragons from the first game have a unique design, voice, and personality when most of them are reskins in the original. There's so many great details, the remastered music sounds good, the controls still feel the same, and this was my introduction to Spyro 2 and 3 for the first time, since I had only played the original first game. Toys for Bob did an outstanding job with this game, and I can't wait to see what it means for Spyro's future. But while we're waiting, just remember that the Spyro Reignited Trilogy is number 2. "2018 was a fantastic year for Spider-Man in the realm of TV, animation, movies, and of course, video games. PlayStation was hitting hard with the exclusives last year. Red Dead Redemption 2, boy, the video game, and of course my number 1 game of 2018 because it's the only one of those 3 that I played and because I genuinely enjoy it that much, Spider-Man. The combat and swinging through the city was addictive and smooth, it had an amazing story to tell, and some incredible DLC. It has a massive variety of suits, power-ups, and gear paying homage to Spider-Man's history. And going back to the swinging mechanics, this is one of the very few games I've ever played in my entire life that has actually helped and had an impact on me in person outside the game. If you have a PlayStation 4 and a copy of Marvel's Spider-Man, I want you to do this right now. Turn on the game, link your PlayStation account to your Spotify, and just play anything you want while swinging through the city. It is the most relaxing, therapeutic thing I've ever seen in a video game. Like I said at the start of this video, 2018 was a fantastic year for games. A lot of fantastic games came out, and I played a lot of fantastic games for the first time. But Spider-Man is the spectacular number 1.